Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome, guys. My name is Sid, and we want to say a big hello from Dhaiwat and Sid. And let me introduce you to my friend David.
Yes, let's go.
And he's going to give you a quick introduction. I hope you enjoy.
Perfect. My name is Dhaiwat, Dhaiwat San. I started Spring Digital, for everybody that doesn't know. I started Spring Digital 4 years ago in my bedroom, basically, in a library, Toronto Public Library, studying marketing, practicing sales, all of that stuff. And the best part is you just start somewhere. I started because I wanted to learn marketing. I wanted to do something in marketing. I was good at sales, and I figured eventually that everybody is talking about digital marketing. Marketing is moving into a bigger landscape of on screen, not just billboards anymore, not just posters anymore. So that's something that motivated me the most. And I decided finally that, hey, you know what? Your skill is in this. Your skill is in talking on stage. Your skill is at public speaking. Why not use it? Create
Makes
content,
sense. Yeah.
market your stuff, market others' stuff, help make others money. And that's when I thought that, hey, you know what? This is something I'm good at. I'm blessed, basically. You should be
Yeah.
blessed to be able to love the same thing and be able to do the same thing. I was lucky to do that. I started 4 years ago. Lots of ups and downs, still ups and downs, but here we are.
We're going to talk more about the ups and downs because that's a very heated and very interesting topic.
Correct. Yes. Now, that's
So-
about me.
Just because you're talking about it, just wanted to know, I
Yeah.
wanted to dive in deep. What drives you to work in this industry and to what drives Spring Digital?
What drives Spring Digital is basically helping clients get what they want, because I work with a lot of business owners that want to grow their business. They have a great product. They have everything is right. They love what they do. The only thing they are missing is the visibility, the opportunity to be able to be in front of hundreds of people like us, thousands of people, right? Being able to present your idea, tell others that, hey, I made this. And I wasn't able to do that. I had all the sales skills, I had all the public speaking skills, but I was never able to come up and tell hundreds of people that knew. And so being helpful to others is what business is. You should be able to provide to others. That's the deepest meaning behind Spring Digital, right? That's what we thrive on, helping creatives, helping business owners get in front of thousands and thousands of people, millions of people in the future, and then driving results with that, driving sales with that, driving profits with that, right? That's about Spring Digital. Let's talk about our friend here, Siddharth. Siddharth, give us an introduction. Give us an introduction and give us a deep meaning behind good day.
Well, to begin, my name is Siddharth Gurav. I'm from India, Bombay, and everyone calls me Sid out here because it's a very convenient name and it's a very memorable name. Um, Moving back to good day, um, uh, the day I landed in this country, I knew it. I want to do something in food and beverage, and since then, I have only worked in food and beverage because I just wanted to, gain experience from both the industries and see what I could deliver at the end of the day. Uh, I work for a multinational company like Nestle, where I gathered all the management skills from these super seniors who were just magnificent at their jobs, and I feel uh, uh, I needed some startup grinding experience as well. So I worked for this company called Buddha Juice, which was like a startup from Dallas, Texas. They were more into cold pressed juices, and I was like, I wanted to, grind with them. Where I was like the third employee to be hired in the company.
Nice.
Great experience out there. And once I gathered everything in my basket, I was like, you know what? It's time to, look at these eggs which I've collected and start rolling
Yeah.
and see what I can do. I started a company called Instantly Yours, which was more into catering. Uh, I was very down south in life that time, struggling with finances as an immigrant. Everyone does.
Yeah.
We had those like red days, the good days, the bad days. We ended up doing really good. We started selling mini pancakes, which were like 100% gluten free, nut free, dairy free. I was like, you know what? I saw the demand and I was like, you know what? This is the niche I want to pick, and that's what we're going to go ahead. So obviously, we had the bigger picture of like being into a brick and mortar, but obviously, going back, like, everything is a step by step process. Uh, we started Instantly Yours. We ran that company for a year. Like, I saved some money, and then I realized, you know what, it's time to, like, find a brick and mortar. uh, I was very fortunate. I came across my landlord. His name is Alex Rodriguez. If you're watching this thing, you're amazing.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. So we eventually ended up like, he comes to me and like, man, I like what you're doing, and I have a space empty. If you wanted to, run your show out here, you are free to, try things. I was like, I don't have that much amount of capital, because we are always, whenever you begin something, you always think about extreme, like
Yeah.
it's going to be extreme hurdles, extreme cash flow, or like you need like capital like in millions. No, you can do things in like a very conservative way. And because I did not have funds, I was like, you know what? I'm going to build this thing by myself. And like I recorded my entire journey on Instagram so that I could get the spot. Sometimes the likes, followers are basically a tap on your shoulders, because that's where you see your progress going. But the entire thing about me, like recording on like or showcasing my progress, was there are a million people like me who want to do that, but they feel like there's no one to address them. So I wanted to represent them, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put this thing up there. Maybe I have someone who's watching me, maybe I have no one watching me. It really doesn't matter. But what matters to me is like there was a story, and there was a start for everything. Everyone starts from 0. And that's what brings me to this show today with you, where we're going to talk about a good day. And yeah, and that build up which was happening 6 months ago regarding my brick and mortar location. Like we are 6 months down now, and things are good. We are 100% gluten free sandwich shop, and we try to, as I mentioned, we serve a niche, and I just want to stick to that niche is because it resonates with me. I'm not celiac, but I am gluten sensitive. So I find it very difficult to find places where I could accommodate myself and my dietary needs. So I built a business which could cater to me, and I realized it's just not me. There are many people out there, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go all in this. And yeah, that's all about good day and many more good days to come. So let's see how things go. And that's all about me.
That's great, Siddharth. That's great. You know, I have this one very important question for you. So, what was the first sign or the first moment? Can you remember when you remember that was like a click moment? A hey, I should start this. What was that moment? What's the last thing, the first thing you remember that brought you here where you are right now?
Um, I would divide this thing in two sets. Okay. I have had a very rough upbringing, and that brings up to like the lack in information, finances, and which drove me to a position where I had no option but to just go all in whatever I had, because I had to go all in because I have nothing to lose. All right. So that was a drive. Number one is like, the first pillar was like having nothing in my childhood, realizing that I have to give it all and gain everything from zero was one of the biggest like drivers. But the second most important thing is when I mentioned to you about my catering company
Yeah.
where you used to do instantly yours, I came across like a mother who started crying because her kid was celiac and he couldn't eat he couldn't eat anywhere. There was no dedicated gluten-free facility in Canada which could cater their kids' needs because everyone wants a place where they can go and hey man, I just feel free. I want to order whatever I want.
Right.
That was missing in that particular niche, and I was like, you know what, that kid, I still have that image in like the happiness he had within him. I was like, you know what, I'm pretty sure there are a million kids like that, and knowing that it's a very common thing amongst the kids, and when and kid has that issue, the parents have to accommodate a diet. And I was like, that was my second important igniter. It's like, you know what, no, it's like if we have to, I have to be there for my people.
Right.
Is like I realized that thing at a very later stage in my life where I just was like very how to tell you, I was very careless about myself, and just been hustling all the time. You tend to forget how important your health is.
Yeah.
I just did an allergy test. I realized, oh my god, like I'm gluten sensitive, and there are so many sensitivities which came out. I was like, no, I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm also going to be providing like amazing product to the people who really need this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good. Now, for me, it's the same situation. It's just way, it goes back way early. Like, I was in sixth grade, and I remember my sixth grade teacher, social studies teacher. In India, we have that. I'm also from India, by the way. I'm also from India. I'm from Gujarat. I was brought
He's
up
my
in
homie.
Vadodara, and I'm Maharashtrian from Gujarat. In Gujarat, like in India, we have this study, social studies. That's one of the subjects, right? It's basically history or geography, all of that in mixed, right? In that subject, the teacher asked, I still remember Usha ma'am, if you're watching this in future or maybe now. She asked this question to the class. Class is what, 50 people. What's your favorite word? What's that one favorite word? And she asked everybody. I was in the middle row, and I answered, my favorite word is product. Product. She's like, why product? And I said, and I'm sixth grade. How old am I, right?
You had such a young mind that time. I'm just curious to know what made you
That's
pick that
the
word.
same as you, because I also had a very rough upbringing. Not that my parents were bad. It's just the other way, actually. I was not good at studying until like seventh grade. I was bad at studies. I was not focused. Yes, I was good at sports. I was good at music. I was good at art, basically, because I belong to an artist family. But my mom and dad didn't want us to be in art. They've seen the struggle.
Yeah.
Mom's a double graduate in music, vocal. Dad's a master's in performing arts, violin, all of that. But they've seen their lots of downs. They've struggled all the ways. So they didn't want me to do the same. But you know how I was. I was never the brightest kid. Uh, that in itself made them, and I couldn't see my mom cry. My mom used to cry all the time. And
what was the main reason? What do you think made her sentimental or emotional regarding you?
I think the most important part here is that she had dreams and she was not able to achieve them. Given reasons, there's multiple reasons that nobody would be interested in, but she had her reasons to not be able to, let's say it was taking care of me. She forgot her dreams for me, and then she saw me, she thought that I would invest all of that I've got in me to get this kid of mine to become something in the world, to make my name, or give me the great life that I deserve. And I was not showing any signs of that, obviously. So no, not studies, not sports. I was above average, no doubt, but then I wasn't the excellent one. Not like I wasn't like Ronaldo or Messi to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I was. Nobody believed
Yeah,
in
maybe
me.
you were not believing in yourself.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that goes on. I go into sixth grade. I'm struggling with grades. I come up with like such a mentality that I am never gonna be able to do anything. Like my surroundings, the people who are around me, uncles and everybody doesn't wanna believe in me because I don't prove them right. I don't have great grades, I don't have good grades to like show them that I'm gonna become an engineer. The South Asian mentality. We have
Yeah.
that you gotta be an engineer or a rocket scientist to be able to
Yeah.
be
If you
something.
don't have like a master's or a doctorate or something, you have zero value in your life. It's a
Right.
very, very I don't want to use that word, but it's a very old school belief in the Indian culture
Yeah.
that unless and until you don't have a doctorate or like a master's in your like whatever that thing is, that you don't hold value in this on this planet Earth. And
Which is sort of good and bad, but not good for everybody because
yeah,
I believe that probably was good 50, 60 years ago when people needed to come out and start to like study or like get education. Yeah, I believe that like 100 years ago maybe it was needed in India, but not anymore. Everybody is doing
yeah,
great, and that's what ignited me to become the person I was in sixth
who you are.
grade.
Yeah.
And then until then, even then I wasn't serious. Honestly, I
Yeah.
came to seventh grade. I have this very crazy story. I was in seventh grade. I remember I was this one afternoon. I got the math test results. It was a
The
small
most
test,
happening day
right?
of your life.
That changed my life that day.
Yeah. I
This is
remember
where it
when
all-
you had mentioned this thing, and like I really want you guys to hear this thing because this is something really, if everyone has this moment in life,
Yeah.
and I want you to like think about yours after listening to him.
So this was seventh grade again. Halfway through the year, math test results coming out. I don't have any personal tutor. I don't go to any personal tutor at the moment because my personal tutor left the city and I'm without her, and I'm gonna have to give the exam without studying or like on my own caliber basically. Guess what? The results came in that afternoon and I got a 0 out of 20.
Fabulous. That's how leaders were born. They were all failures in their childhood,
Yes.
and they figured out he's gonna be the one, and we make sure he becomes the one.
Right? Yes. And then that zero made me cry for the first time. That I got a 0? Like I'm a 0? Really? I remember there was like a small window in my classroom.
Yeah.
I sat in that window, looked down outside the school, and I was crying to myself, like, how can I
Yeah.
have a 0?
It hit you
It hit me so bad.
it hit you at the spots which you didn't want it to hit. Yeah.
It wasn't a comparison between anybody but myself.
Yeah.
0? Really? 0? Not even a 1? So funny thing, this follows. I go down, and my cousin, who's also a year younger than me, he comes out and he goes, "Hey, I got marks too, and I got 1 out of 20." And we both start laughing. I said, "I saw a 0." We both are laughing about it. But the next second, my mind starts to think like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go home and show it to my mom. She's gonna cry again." That's when I was telling my cousin, like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna show it to my mom. I don't even feel like going home. I was so hurt." He was like, "No, don't say that. No, don't say that. You should go home. You have to go home." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm just saying this for the sake of saying it. Like, and I won't go home. I would definitely go home. Where else am I gonna go, right?" I start. I take my bike. I go there. He leaves. He goes to his home. But he calls my mom and he lets her know. So the moment I reach home, my mom's like, "Did you get any marks?
What's up?
What's up,
Yeah.
buddy? Do
Yeah.
you have any grades for me?" And I go,
You're like,
how does she know this? How did she find that out? And I go, "Yes, I got some." And she goes like,
I can literally picture the entire scenario.
"Yeah, you
like,
met my mom, yeah."
Yeah, like the straight face. Yeah, like I mean, sure, Like, how the hell do you know? Right?
Right? And she goes, okay, why do you like? She already knows this, right? So that I got a zero. She goes, why do you have to like hide it from me? Like you don't have to be scared. You don't have to you don't have to run away just because you got a zero in a small test. It's okay. It's just,
Oh.
but she's crying her eyes out, and then and I'm crying too, and that changed my mind. I was like, okay, I gotta buckle up.
Yeah.
She took me that
What
afternoon.
grade? That was seventh grade?
Seventh grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Seven is my lucky number, man.
Yeah.
Seven's my lucky number.
Do you believe in numerology? Because I do. I think
Same, I do
yeah.
as well.
Sometimes
I
it
believe
works. You never know. What's your lucky number?
Comment in the mention in the comments. Don't forget. So funny enough, I go on and mom's like, okay, we're gonna take you to this one tutor,
Yeah.
group tutor that is so close by her that he's like an aggressive one, the one who like.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, sure, we'll go because I'm pumped up too. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna get something out of this. So I go there. Next unit test, out of 20 gets 17, and I'm like, I have
Top of the world. Motherfuckers, don't you dare. I'm going to teach you.
trying to keep it G-rated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from there on, there's only one way up.
Yeah.
8th grade comes along. I'm like, okay, I want to become an engineer so that I can broaden my field of like studies. I can broaden my field of becoming a business owner. And those are just the beginnings. I got 95 out of 100 in my 10th grade. I qualified. I went to the science field in 11, 12. Those who don't know, in India, we have this like you have to choose commerce or science after 10th.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
like one of the shittiest sections too about the education sector.
It did not help me. Like, nor did it help my parents. Because
Why is it funny?
because as you're saying this thing, it reminds me of like, obviously, like, even if you're listening, it will give you an opportunity to take a pause in life and think about your childhood,
Yeah.
how your entire life went.
Correct.
My father had no hopes with me. He would be like, so if it was 100 marks exam, the passing was like 35.
Right.
He's like, hey, something around there just to keep the name and just to keep the ball rolling. Because
At
like,
least not 34.
yeah, but like it all comes up to upbringing as well.
Yeah.
I believe like, having the music background like adds a lot of like supplements, like,
Yeah.
to your upbringing as well. Like then having your parents always supporting you, your life would have been totally different if that day when you got zero, your mom questioned you a different question.
Oh yeah.
And instead of the friendly, like, it's just marks, if it was something like zero, it would
Yeah.
have changed your life. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm trying to recollect, and I'm trying to think when I mentioned, I'm trying to frame the entire situation. I'm just thinking, if that question would have been different,
Yeah.
where would you have been?
I think I would have been a different way. I still wanted to do business, but I don't think that I would become an engineer and then come here, become an engineer again, and then do double graduates. I would probably be.
All the single ladies. He's an engineer, runs
I mean,
a business.
I worked for 4 years in that field, and I gave
He
up.
works out,
And I worked out.
and he's single.
Thank you. That's my matrimony.
I'm gone.
Sorry for that, ladies. I'm well. Hit me up. So it all goes down to that, right? It's that question that one person in your life that you want to do things for. For me, it's my mom. Let's talk
Yeah.
about you. What do you think is that one childhood thing that you feel like, "Dhaiwat, this is the moment, man. This is that one moment where I was like, this changed. This was a pivotal moment." What was that pivotal moment for you?
As I mentioned before, like, the rough childhood, it was not because my parents did not love me or something. It's the absence of them. My parents worked their ass off. Sorry. to
She really.
to provide us the upbringing
Mm.
which was needed uh, to make me what I am today, and my
Yeah.
sister as well. But what I feel is the most fortunate thing to happen to me was growing up in a very rich neighborhood. The
Mm.
realization came in when I started seeing my friends' parents cater their kids' needs in a different way.
Nice.
And I started questioning myself, why is this? Why is it different than what my parents do? Like how they react to a situation, how do they like how do they hold a conversation,
Mm.
what questions do they ask. My parents always worked, so what stress they got at work, they got it at home. It came to us, we give the stress to the teachers. That's how the cycle always rotates.
It's the chain of,
Yeah,
those who watch How I Met Your Mother, you might know the chain of screaming.
yeah,
That's how it is.
yeah. So I was like, you know what, I need to start addressing. What I used to do is m- today, like whatever I am is because of my grandmother. I used to sell my grandmother used to sell flowers on the streets in Mumbai, and she used to take me with her, and all that confidence comes from there. And I have no shame in mentioning this, because I'm so proud to say that I represent her.
Mm.
It's my parents obviously come first, but for me she's the superstar. Whatever I am doing today is all because of her. So I love you, and this is just for you.
That is so sweet.
Yeah. So, coming to the point is I saw the absence of financial literacy, financial uh, knowledge. I saw that there was something missing, and I was like, you know what? I don't think my parents are gonna understand that. And it was very at early age I realized, you know what, I have to start rolling this thing. My entire family, no one's educated in my family, no one. The only person educated is my mother.
And talk to us about that, how that living in the rich neighborhood changed it. Because I remember you telling me about it, and that's very
Yeah.
interesting for someone who doesn't know where he lives.
Yeah.
Please tell them.
Hey, buddy, I am Motabai's neighbor, Ambani. I live on Altamount Road, and that's where I grew up, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
So, coming back to the point, knowing, I had these rich dads out there.
Yes.
And it actually resonates why, the rich dad, poor dad book is such an important eye changer for a lot of
Everybody's
people.
first book kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So I was like, there's something different, and there's something which my father's not doing. That's why we are in this state. I used to always put a blame on him, and I just realized, no, there's something else out here.
Something else, exactly.
So then it goes, you have to track back the entire thing. He went through a lot of shit. Then he had to grow up as a man with that shit. And then the trauma stays, and then you pass it on to the kids. But coming back to the point is I saw a father deal with his kid in a very different way. And I decided that day that this is what person I want to become.
Mm.
And I was like, that's where I'm going to put the boundary.
What story was this?
No, he was just for example, his kid was being a bit mischievous, and uh, he was not trying to be my father that time, to be very honest. If I was in that situation with my father would have beaten the shit out of me. But that's how that's how I still love you. That's why I'm strong today. All the discipline comes from you. But again, when it comes to growing up someone, it requires the right nourishment, and I think he was the right person for that. So I saw him how he dealt with the situation, and I was like, you know what, it changed my life. I was like, this is where I'm going to put a full stop to my line of poverty in the family. I'm going to take all the shots. I started building a business. My first ever business was called Absolute Fitness.
Nice.
I started a stress management company, and I only targeted corporates. That's where people that's where I trained all my people.
Tell them about how many businesses you've had. Tell them
How
about.
seasoned I am.
Or
I'm seasoned like a nice medium rare steak.
talk talk to us about like how many failures you've had to be able to come here and still flourish. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not giving up. What is the reason that
Yeah.
you jumped from one to the other? What kept you alive? What was that one quality? What do you suggest our viewers today? That what is that one thing that you begin with, like that was the first quality that you needed, that first quality that you would look for someone who's going to be an entrepreneur. You want to see that one quality and be like, this guy, he can build from here, but he needs that one quality. What is that one quality for you?
I would pick, you need a lot of courage.
Hmm.
I would pick two very important.
Sure.
Like they both go hand in hand, courage and sales skills.
Hmm.
You gotta be selling every single minute of your life.
Correct.
Whether you're talking to your girlfriend, your parents, you're selling an idea no matter what. You're convincing them.
You know, this brings me to a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
I used to work as a quality engineer. My last quality engineering job
Was this out here or
it's
like
here. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
I studied quality engineering here in Toronto, Canada, and I worked for 4 years as a quality engineer.
Yeah.
In the last year, I remember the reason that I got fired was because I told my manager, very interesting. This is all true. You can verify the
How long?
sources.
Like do you want to mention the company or no? You
No,
don't
no,
want
no.
to?
I can't mention the company, but you guys would know. You can see everything. I can't. I don't know, some sort of like legal stuff. But hey, you
Yeah.
know what? My manager, I told her, she promoted everybody basically on the team.
Yeah.
Like, there were like three other people in front of me, and she promoted all three of them, but she did not promote me. Promote me as in like she didn't give me any extra duties, you know. So I asked like, what's your plan for me in the next 1 year?
Yeah.
Like, what's your plan? Where do you see
Honestly,
me?
it's a curiosity, right? Why? Like, why me? Like,
Why not me?
Exactly, because you were like, you want.
And I knew what I
Looking
wanted.
at you, like I know how you are. You always want to be like rightly criticized so that it helps you grow.
Right.
And you would just like hey, like
And I
you're
was
my manager. I need to know what.
correct.
Yeah.
Everybody in the company wanted or understood that I could be in sales.
Yeah.
But my manager didn't believe in that. So I asked her, what's your plan for me in the next 1 to 5 years? She goes, oh, I want to see you as a quality supervisor. I said,
She already knew what you wanted.
right.
Yeah.
So then I mentioned, I want to be in sales.
Yeah.
And I want to start sales as soon as possible. People around in this department, in the company, are with me. I've talked to them already. I've talked to the managers. I've talked to the managers of the managers. Everybody is in conjunction that we can do it. She goes, no. What makes you believe that you can be in sales? We have people who have years of experience who can do sales here. There's people lined up before you.
She said
Right?
that to you?
Yeah, there's people lined up before you. I don't think you can do it right now. You need a lot more experience. You need a lot more this. You need a lot more that. So she is killing a 25-year-old kid's dream, maybe, and saying, no, you can't. I say, you know what I say to that? Why I bring this up? To that, I say, she asked me, like, what makes you believe that you can do sales? I said, I've been doing sales all my life. I also started a t-shirt making company when I was 18.
Yeah.
When I was an engineer, like a mechanical engineering first year student, I pitched 1,000 plus students onto like making a t-shirt for Mecca, which I didn't put through. That's another story. We'll talk about those failures. That's another podcast in itself.
Yeah.
But that I've sold those. I've sold all my life. I've sold you. I've sold you on me being here.
That's
What
true.
are you talking about? I can
Yeah.
be in sales anywhere I want to be.
Yeah. You're always in a selling role. Always.
Always in a selling role. If you're working for someone, you're selling something. You're a quality engineer, you're selling something. You're selling an idea, right? You're
Yep.
selling something at
Yep.
every position. And sales is a conversation. It's not a it's not a degree.
Yeah.
It's not a
It has to flow. Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
right? So you're right. I'll let you continue. Like, Sorry to jump into this, but then
No.
the first one was confidence, or like, courage.
Yeah.
What in your experience is courage?
There have been instances where you have to stand up for yourself, and if you don't, someone else gets the piece of cake.
Mm.
So that's how it is. There are always people out there to take away things you've earned.
Totally.
So never let that happen. And for that, you gotta have courage. The reason why I say courage and sales together is because they both are incomplete without each other.
Correct. What is the first moment, like a beginner, like who's watching this right now, a beginner is gonna look at this and be like, why do I need to be courageous?
Yeah.
Why do you think that beginner? What made you say that someone who wants to open a restaurant, someone who wants to open a gluten-free restaurant or not a gluten-free restaurant or whatever sort of business that this person wants to, why do they need courage? What do you think is courage?
You know, courage is something which is a mandatory. It's like a graphic card in a computer. Like I don't think good things can be seen without a graphic card. You need, it's a mandatory thing. If you want to win the world, if you want to make your dreams come true, you have to be courageous, because otherwise you're just going to live a life like a spectator. You're just going to go and like applaud at people who are courageous and playing a sport.
Wonderful. To me, because
What are your two or like what's your word
Like-
when it comes to your product? Don't get back to the product, because product is something.
is my favorite word.
Yeah.
Product is my favorite word, but the skill, the quality that I feel is only one, which is, you would love this when I say this. Even my sister behind the camera would love this word: perseverance.
Yeah.
Nothing beats good old perseverance.
Yeah.
You know why? That whole quote from the movie Founder,
Yeah.
the founder. Nothing beats the good old perseverance or persistence, because you can get all sorts of skills, or you don't have any sort of skills, but if you don't have the perseverance to sit there, dream big, and
Yeah.
go, fuck you, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You say no, so
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna still do it. And I know that things will come in place, things will fall together, and we will all be able to like get our own goals, and only if you dream big enough, right?
Yeah.
So perseverance, and that one dialogue I remember from the founder, perseverance is this or that.
It's one of the favorite movies.
Yeah, I know. I took a screenshot of that, like the whole thing. There was like a Google image, and my old laptop. This is my new laptop, but the one before this that I had for like 12 some years now, broken ass laptop. But then the wallpaper was always that line. Ever since I found that line, I was like, ever since I found that line, that one word is something that I was known by. My friends used to tell me that I'm bad at the first try. I may fail at the first try, but my second try is never wrong. I will never fail at my second try. And I take pride in that, because that's something I respect in a future business owner. Right?
Yeah.
I guess this podcast was really good, Siddharth. What do you think is upcoming? What do you think is going to be our next topic? Do you have any send off for our people here? Do you want to tell them your location, where you are at? Do you want to tell them what you serve? What's your
No
best dish?
location, motherfucker. I just have a straight message to you.
Let's go.
If you don't, someone else will, and you will be just applauding him,
Correct.
and you'll not be okay with that. I
love
hope
that.
you realize that.
That's the Mumbaiya nature, by the way. Just so people who don't know that the Mumbai people
Be
are very, very, very
the legend of your own life.
correct.
It's my favorite line. Don't be a fucking average.
Love that. I love that.
Would you like to throw some spice at the end?
Yes, oh for sure. I mean, there's people gonna throw you down. There are people gonna tell you, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, you should do this. My favorite learning recently has been to not consider opinions, and only seek experience.
Amazing. That's
Fuck the opinions.
yeah.
If someone's gonna tell you, oh, I think you should be doing that, nope. Start with experience.
Yeah.
Start with experience. If you find someone who knows, I can do I've done this. Like someone like you, if you tell me, go on, like Dhaiwat, I've done this, I've failed at it, don't do this, I won't go that route. I will believe you firsthand because you've done it and you failed. But if I'm gonna listen to someone who hasn't done it, I'm not that person anymore. I used to be,
Yeah.
and I learned don't do that, guys. Don't do that. If you're a beginner, only listen to people who have failed at that one thing and they're saying don't do it. Don't listen to everybody. Don't go on asking everybody.
Yeah.
That's one
That's the most
biggest.
stupid advice. You'll have like ask people validated from
Yeah.
no one really cares.
No one
People
really cares.
talk about opinions and they really don't matter. If you wanna know how is this coffee, go and fucking buy it.
Yes. By the way, good day, guys. Good day.
This is for life.
Siddharth, tell us about where's your store? How can they get here?
We've opened our first flagship location at 2461 Lakeshore Boulevard West.
Right.
We are inside like a plaza. So a lot of people missed the turn, but we are in the Mimico Lakeshore area and we fall under Etobicoke. So we are open 7 days a week and we make the most delicious sandwiches.
Love
I'll
that.
be waiting to
What's
serve you.
something that they should look up for in the menu?
So the thing is, the menu is designed in a way so that everyone could enjoy.
Love it.
We just slightly mentioned that we are 100% gluten free, but like our goal is to make food which could be enjoyed by all without compromising
Yeah.
your dietary restrictions.
Right.
So yeah, how can people reach you out? And do you want to throw some sprinkles out for people to know about Spring Digital?
Yes, Spring Digital is pretty accessible too. That's the whole point of being available online. You can reach me any platform. You can reach me on my email, contact@springdigital.com, or you can reach me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram. My ex, my formerly Twitter, is also very active. I am big on.
I heard you were talking about your ex.
I don't talk about my ex, but then X or formerly Twitter, I'm
We
great
will
at
have
that too.
we should have an episode on our exes. You know why? Because
that
they have
affects-
crafted you to become someone.
Yes, everybody, right? All the people in your life came to teach you a lesson, right? I guess that could be one of our podcasts itself.
Yeah,
Great. So
that's gonna
send
be
me a message.
my beloved ex.
send me a message. Any of the platforms, guys. We'll book a free consultation for you. We mostly do advertisements on socials and search engines, but we're also doing content creation now, and it's all great and well. You can reach out to us. We can do a free consultation, find out how it works for you, and then I'd love to help out any business sector. That being it, first section was really good. I hope we do this more and more. We're not going to back down. We've done this multiple times. We've talked about this. This time it was just, we're going to do this. Send this to someone who you know is going to want to start a business with you or already has started a business and wants to keep growing or something that resonated with you. Share it with a friend. Let us know how this was.
Did you?
Right?
Are you listening? Can you feel the passion? I have to use $1 million line. Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Let's go. Woo! Episode first. Thank you so much, Siddharth. Let's do another one soon. Keep tuned, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget. Good day and Spring Digital. Let's go.